All right. Well, welcome. We're going to talk about putting your best face forward for video communications. Before you even say a word, people are making an assessment about you, your talent, and your position within your workplace when they see you on screen in a video meeting. And maybe you've seen this when you see social media or you see an image pop up on a commercial and you take a look and you think, before the person even says anything, I wonder what you're thinking about them. So much of what we see, they say, seeing is believing, right? What you said, what you see really does register in your mind. We take in so much through our vision. It's about 80 to 90% of what we take in nonverbally. That's how much nonverbal communication means. So, believe it or not, it's a little higher. It's that 80 to 90% range. So let's talk about getting the results you want from video communication. Let's face it, you guys are the experts. You really are. You have your degrees. You've learned everything you need to know about communicating with your clients, about the subject at hand. You are the expert. You know more than them. So you go into these meetings, whether now formerly they used to be in person, but now you're going into these video meetings, and you must always have a goal, right? We've got to have a goal when we're going in. You've prepared for it. You know what it is. Let's make sure you get the results you want by being prepared throughout the process. Because people do business with clients they know, they like, and they trust. Let's face it. If you like them, the chances are they'll continue to do business with you and they'll trust you. And creating a visual trust with people right off the bat is so important in our nonverbal communications. How you present yourself is so very important. And one thing I want to tell you about visual communications is we have the benefit. No longer do we have to dress head to toe on a day-to-day basis for our clients. These screens have parameters. So really what they're going to see from you is what you allow them to see throughout the parameters of the video screen. So really, it's really from the top of your head, your surroundings, to your waist. And there's certain key elements we'll talk about how to make that a success. But one thing I wanted to let you know is that I'm showing tonight a lot of images that I used in my social media to show you examples. I am very fortunate to have a large roster of clients that are anywhere from C-suite individuals to several lawyers. I'm very proud to work with 4 lawyers and musicians. And I work with the Atlanta Symphony. And there's some people that I work with that I've had to sign non-disclosure agreements with. And a lot of the work I do for them goes for their social media, for their headshots, for their portfolios. So I'm not going to use them as examples tonight, and I hope you'll bear with me as I use some of my examples so I can show you a little bit about what I'm talking about in the 3 ways we can help you create visual trust. Because honestly, I think that none of us have had to transition so quickly to a new form of communication as our quote unquote norm. And we really have had to jump into video communications almost immediately as soon as quarantine began. So let's talk about, the ways that you can make your visual communication successful. Number 1, style your surroundings. You may do it without realizing you do it, or you may not do it enough. And there's a couple quick tips we can teach you that'll help you along the way. Also, pick an ensemble that flatters your face shape. It's really important to know what your face shape is and to style yourself because remember, your clients are only seeing you from the waist up. So they're no longer being able to take in your visual balance from head to toe. They're seeing so much, a smaller percentage of your body in the screen. And then practicing video chats. My gosh, I don't know how many of you have time to practice with your social media, doing Instagram lives, but there is a way that you can practice and get better day to day. So take a look at this picture. Let's take a look here. This is obviously, when I look at this picture, what do you see? Let's see. I'll tell you what I see, but I'm curious. Tina, what do you see? Let's see if Tina's ready to be active with us.
So I see someone who likes books, someone that's very well read. I see it's very eclectic. They've got a lot of knickknacks. It looks like a nice, cozy sort of reading nook or library. They seem like, I see lots of color, so I see photos of children, so it's just sort of like a mood uplifting space.
Exactly. And for certain, this is a great multifaceted human being, a mother, friend, well-read, well-traveled, obviously has pastimes. I mean, I see a basket of yarn, so she likes to knit. She has time in her life for the things that she loves. I see all of this, but for me, this is a little too cluttered for a professional video conference. So we want to remove some of that clutter so people know where to look. You do want to add professional markers where you can, so they know you're the authority. I think they know that already because you've talked to them, you've been hired by them, you're pitching yourself to them. But also, you need to remain the focal point. So let's find a way you can be the focal point in your setting. And then I love to see green. I think green means you have fresh ideas, that you like nature. Nature is calming. I call it the Peloton plant effect, which they've done so well. And so, as you can tell, I don't know how many people you can see. I don't know if anyone can raise their hand or tell me. I don't know how many people have read the book Untamed, but I framed this scarf in my office long before I read the book, but now I appreciate it even more now. But you can see what I'm doing here with animal print. I'm playing it up in the way I'm seen in my office. And let's see. Kayla, what do you see? What do you think? Who do you think works in the environment we're seeing now? Who do you think this belongs to?
Someone very fancy. It looks like, I mean, we have lots of plants, some art. I always feel like a sculpture makes someone look really fancy. Everything is tidy.
Yeah, and this person for sure understands the power of color, right? This is a color, someone who understands color and is using it to their advantage. Definitely, I'd say someone who either hired an interior or is an interior designer for sure. And then I love this image. I love this image. I don't know who else wants to talk. Bonnie, do you want to talk to us? You want to tell us what do you think about this one?
Well, I would say this is tropical relaxed. I definitely feel there should be a pet of some sort wandering around in the background. The tropical nature of the plants, I mean, that to me immediately draws my eye. The warm throw on the very comfy leather sofa just, immediately invites relaxation. I see myself reading a book here, having a cup of tea, just lounging, and that, I think, that atmosphere would translate well if you wanted to make your audience very comfortable.
Absolutely. So I want to go to therapy right here in this room. I want my therapist to be sitting on this couch because I feel very comfortable. I could sit there for hours, or at least look at it for hours. And here, this is another one where I look at this, and of course it's the Peloton plant effect, but you can tell this person is very successful. They're a city dweller, very affluent in the choices of furniture. It's modern and fresh, but full of new ideas and easy to talk to. So there's a lot of different ways that you can plop yourselves in these environments and style them around you. These are bookshelves in my own office. And there's 3 bookshelves side by side. It's a bookshelf wall. And I've styled each of them so that I can just turn my chair around in my desk and sit in front of them, depending on who I'm talking to. And this is an example. This was a call that I did on Monday. And I just took a selfie so you could see, but I wanted to make sure that you could tell I worked in New York City in fashion for 20 years. Make sure you saw that I was an expert in fashion, a little color behind me, whirling dervishes. I have a client in Turkey. He gave me that card. There's ways that you can style so you feel good in your space and you still remain the focal point. And Angela, I can't tell if Angela's on the call, but I'm so grateful for Angela letting us use her image in the presentation today because this is a fabulous shot. Angela, thank you.
Thank you.
I've already complimented you today, you and your daughter, for having fabulous eyebrows, but I think that you're so well put together and so well styled in this shot here. I mean, it's perfect for video communications. I think you've framed your face beautifully. Great hair. You've defined your shoulders, which is a key element to styling. Is this an image you use often?
Yeah, this is what the firm professionally shot for me. This is the one that goes on the website and is the one that I use most frequently. But they actually did a whole 1 hour photo shoot.
It's excellent. It's so well done. And I think that you can see your expertise, you mean business, but I love the feminine details. The brooch that you put, which I think is a beautiful accent piece, the pearl earrings, and just a little bit of the shoulder accent. which I think is really beautiful. So I think this is a 10 as far as styling, and it's a great way to present yourself. Well done. And now let's talk, because Angela, we used her almost as a great example. Let's talk about your face shape. If you don't know what your face shape is, I said the best way to do it is to take a selfie and take your marker around it and just with your highlighter, go around your face and see what shape it is, because our mind reads visual images, and it trusts it immediately if it can find balance and symmetry. So you can do this no matter what your face shape is. And you can use various ways to do that. With the way you're parting your hair, your hairstyle, your jewelry, your collar, you can use your clothing. Let's see. Oh, it's our previous co-chairs. It's our previous co-chairs from last year. Noelle, Casey, Lisa. Hello, ladies. See, you're here. And all of them are showing different hair parts in this picture, which I really like. You can see a soft side part. We see this is a subtle side part and a deep side part, Lisa, well done. All of them are showing a different side part here with their face shape. So it's as you can see here, great. Kayla's done a great job. I know she's blushing because we're using her picture here, but she's done a great job of using her side part to create symmetry and balance around her face. And you can see that the hair has been layered. I like how she's added in color, and she's added in jewelry there as well to add balance. Now for men, I think men are able to use not only their hairline, their facial hair. And in this case, when I styled Andrew for this picture, we really wanted to play up his personality. So we wanted to use both, that he's a hysterical god, but he's got a lot of complexities and he's very talented. So we wanted to use both checks and polka dots. So I hope you can tell here how we've tried to create a visual balance here with Andrew. Now, a heart-shaped face, I'd say that probably Kerry Washington and Reese Witherspoon are probably the most famous heart-shaped faces out there, you can tell, mainly because their chin becomes the focal point as their face goes down into that point. So the way you soften that is with a soft side part, adding layers around the face. The biggest point I can give you here if you have a heart-shaped face is to not let your hair length hit exactly the same length as your chin. So you always want your hair to be below or soft wefts to be higher, not anything on the same level to create that symmetry and balance. And for men, I think that they can use facial hair. I mean, Dustin is part of my Cadillac House team out of New York, Cadillac expert. And, when you're bald like this, what's great is that you can really play up your facial hair to use and create those lines and angles. Now, if you have a square or rectangle face, thank you, Tina, if I forgot to say, for letting us use your image here. A side part, and even a deep one, is great for adding more symmetry and balance because it takes away from the hard, long lines of your jaw there. And this is the most repetitive phrase I've heard in 20 years of having professional makeup done. Makeup artists always tell me, why would I paint your face if I wasn't going to frame it? So I think the most important key for makeup is, even if you're going to have a day where you don't want to put your whole face on, it's really important to have eyebrows and to be able to see your lips, because people are talking to you and you want them to hear your messaging. So being able to fill in your eyebrows and paint them in if you need to, and also having some lip color. It doesn't have to be bold, but being able to see your lips is important. Now, practicing video communications, the more you do it, the better you get at it. The more comfortable you are seeing yourself on screen and others, and being able to put them at ease with your energy. And, it does give you a chance to show your personality, because yes, they're not seeing your whole body movements. Normally we have the benefit of being in the room with someone and our energy coming across the table to them. They're able to see the way you move your hands, the way you move your shoulders, the way you move your body. Here, you're limited by the screen again. So you really have to be able to shine and let your personality come through. Practicing here, I'm using myself, as a don't here. These are some screenshots that I've taken during video chats. One great way to practice is to Zoom. You can even just Zoom friends, Zoom call other people in your community. Say, hey, I want to practice doing a quick video call. FaceTime is a great one. It's a great one. But then also Marco Polo. This is one that people don't know a lot about, but I use it all the time. It really is the best of texting and FaceTiming, but it's so easy. It really has a start and stop button, and it's just video communication only. And these are two images that I did screenshots during my Marco Polos, which I use for personal reasons. I talk with my friends who aren't on social media via Marco Polo. But you'll see, I didn't like the way I looked in either of these. The one on the far right, I think I sleep on my face. I didn't even brush my hair that day. I was chatting early in the morning after meditation, and I was like, good gracious, I need some product in my hair. And in the second one, I really looked and I was like, wow, my shoulders are a little pointy, and I'm not a fitness professional. So I want to have my shoulders covered when I'm in work calls, when I'm doing work related video calls. So these were tips that I just took on my own self-analysis. And I recommend that we all do this too. It's good to have self-review. Now let's talk about wardrobe. My favorite subject, clothes. I love clothes. You can become someone else in them if you want to be, but let's use them for getting visual balance. Let's talk about that. Play with cuts and angles. Again, let's talk about knowing what your face shape is and then helping to create balance using different necklines. These are two of my sweet C-suite ladies who I just respect and admire. And I wanted to show you here how we define their shoulders in their images that they use professionally, whether it's for a speaking engagement or they did for social media. Defining the shoulders is important. Sitting up straight is equally important. And using jewelry to vary lengths and create length is important. And with the way we've done it with Anissa on the right here, this was an outfit where, she is in the beauty industry. She's the CEO of a beauty company. And we wanted to talk about a woman in her 50s in the beauty industry and having this all white look. We were so excited to style her in an all white look. And we used jewelry to elongate her and create dimension here, balance by having an all white outfit, but using the jewelry to create symmetry, visual trust. Okay, now jewelry layering. I wanted to do one that just talked a little bit about do's and don'ts. Your bookend images here, there is so much layering going on that I'm distracted. I have so many questions about the jewelry and what it means that I think the best way to use jewelry in your video communications is to have one piece, or if you're going to lay them, make them small, more personal pieces that if you were ever asked about it, your answer would be natural and you would have a nice conversation to have about it and not really say, oh, I just threw all this on because the V in my shirt was way too low. And I didn't think it was great to show that much of my chest. So I just wanted to layer some jewelry in. Remember, you want to keep on point. You want to keep your viewer and whoever you're talking to on the screen focused in on you. Now, color as a calming tool. Color therapy is huge right now in the world because so many people are trying to use color because we're all out of sorts in a way. We're all entering a period of our lives that's abnormal. And so a lot of people are using color as a way to communicate. And this one, I want you to know there is no right answer because this is your personal one. So this is the one I'm most interested in. No one is confident in green. That breaks my heart a little bit. Oh, thank you. Who is that? Thank you. I'm most confident in green for sure. Red, blue. Okay. Blue. Did you guys know what the Pantone color of the year was going into this? Okay. So blue was the winner. I like seeing that. I like seeing that because there are experts that for hundreds of years have used color really to determine how we feel when we see a certain color in the screen, to touch, to feel it, and the psychological characteristics that are tied to them. And whether you have warmer tones like yellow and orange and red, those help us feel energetic, active, alive. But the color of the year for this year, for 2020, was really about, oh, I'm sorry, Bonnie, I did that. I passed up your polling question. I'm so sorry. Well, guess what? You got it all right, guys. My apologies, Bonnie. I blew right past it. Forgive me, guys, about that. But Pantone's color of the year for 2020, which was decided on last year, by the way. So Pantone decides the color of the year anywhere between 9 and 10 months prior to the year. So this was determined basically at the end of spring, beginning of summer of last year, was this classic blue. And the reason they picked this is because of for its feelings of calm, confidence, and connection. And everyone within the textile and manufacturing industries we pay attention to this. Anyone who deals with fabrications and is interested in color, because obviously we all throughout different industries, whether you're in home decor, whether you're in fashion, you're in textiles, you're in cars, it doesn't matter. We're all interested in these colors because we put them into production. And that's why you're seeing a lot of this color around right now. It's all been put into production for this year. So let's talk about brights. Yellow, I use it a lot when I need to be optimistic. If I know it's pouring down rain and the weather is terrible across the country, I'm certainly going to wear yellow when I'm talking to clients because I want them. I mean, we're talking about fashion. Let's be real, people. This is something you can be excited about and I can have a little levity with. So I use a lot of yellow for visual energy. And neutrals evoke calm and contemplation. They're easy to be relaxed around people that are wearing neutrals. You immediately catch yourself exhaling, being able to take a deep breath. And pastels, muted metallics. These are great. These muted pastels are great for reducing stress and anxiety and being known to boost your mood as well. So let's talk about red. But, that's just interesting. Look at the difference here. How do you feel now and here? Big difference, right? You see the difference that red brings to the table. It's strong for financial independence, strength, and that kind of I'm confident, show me attitude. Use red to your advantage when you need to and want to. Putting it into practice. Now, guys, I wanted to show this slide because like many of you, I'm sure, I need to roam around. I roam around a little bit during the day, and especially when I'm not on a video call. I may be dressed for it from the waist up, but most of the time I'm comfortable. This is a time in my life where working from home so much, I'm taking full advantage of being comfortable. I always have pants on. I don't know. I'm not one of those people that there's a lot of people out there that feel like they can go around in their tennis skirts and shorts and things on. But I do love being able to be comfortable with my jeans and pants or whatever I'm wearing. And I think that's important too. Be dressed from the top up. Going into your closet, the challenge for all of you I have, if you choose to accept it, is if you haven't done this yet during quarantine, take a hard look at your closet. There is no excuse. We don't have deadlines and events and places we have to be. It's a really great time to go into your closet and take a look around. Figure out within your closet what are your best tops for video calls. I would even designate a space for them within your closet. Move other things away around, especially like heavy blazers and all of your suiting, especially if you don't, if you're not seeing yourself suited up now as much as you used to be. Get all the things that are great for video calls and put them in one spot. If you care about where you're talking to your clients and if your clients are all around the world, I always have layering pieces nearby because I like to dress in similar climates to the people that I'm talking to. Despite it being 85 degrees in Atlanta today, if tonight I'm going to be talking to someone who is on a vacation and they're in a part of the world, if they're in England and if they're in London and it's raining and cold there, I'll layer it up a little bit and change my outfit slightly so that they can see that I'm visually on par with them. And then I know my biggest advice with video communications and jewelry is to select pieces that are personal to you and don't wear pieces that are stealing the show, that are taking attention away from what you have to say. And a little action list here. When you're going through your closet, make a list. See if there's things that you're missing. Shopping with purpose has never been so important as it is right now. Our options are limited. There's very few stores open. And when there are stores open, I think that everyone's taking a hard look at how much money they want to spend right now, no matter what your income level is. I have clients at the top of the scale as far as income, and then I have clients that are very budget conscious. And both of them are feeling resistance to buying right now. And I think that is very natural. And I'll talk more about shopping in a second. And I think that the bottom line, my best advice always is to present yourself with authority. Remember, you're the expert when you're on these calls about the topic at hand. You know more than the person you're talking to. So that's my best advice. And lastly, here, I wanted to this came up in our practice call. Thank you, Tina, Bonnie, Kayla, everybody who was on the planning committee for this, because they asked me, who I am shopping with right now. And I will be very honest. I'm shopping with the people I know, people who I know, the clothes that they make, that I have personal relationships with, and the people that I know that I can get on the phone with and say, I'm going to have a client try things and I want a return label in here so that when you ship me the package, I want smalls and mediums, and I'd like a return label so that she can just send back whatever it is that she's not going to keep. And we're going to put it all together in one box. I'm going to drop the box off on her doorstep. We're not making any contact. She's sending me selfies so I can look at them. And then I'll send you a box back within 3 days. And really that's how, and I'm working that way with all the people listed here. So these are just some of the people that I'm working with. So, use all of these tools. If you've learned anything tonight, I hope you can use them to get the results you want and the answers that you need during your own video communications.